You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy Star ship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on BQN and Fandom Podcast Network. I am your host, Joe Keegan, today, and today I don't know what I'm doing today. I am the head of, the head of waiting for my new kitchens. If that's even a thing. Joined with me today, I'm very excited to have Councillor Amy Nelson and also Diplomatic Standard Bearer Kevin Scarf. How are you guys today?
Doing good.
Yes, very good. Happy to be talking Star Trek with you guys. It's been a while.
We're also busy.
Yeah.
It's been a life age and I've still got 7 days of school left because unlike you, Amy, Kevin and I still have to work for a living. I feel like Amy should edit the podcast from now until the end of time.
Oh,
she is retired. It's a good new hobby, yeah.
She's just one of these ladies at lunch, isn't she?
Yes, I know. I need to explore more brunches and lovely mornings.
My neighbour Alison was asking after you.
Oh,
and then I told
she's
her,
so sweet.
Yeah, then I told her that you'd retired. And then she threw some expletives my way. She unfriended you from afar, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
No, seriously.
Well, did you tell her now that she's retired that she might be coming over for more visits?
I will pass that on, yes, and you can steal the clothes off her washing line again.
Exactly.
Indeed. Okay, let's check the communication array, see if we have any comments from our listeners.
Logs accessed.
And then we do have a couple of comments from our last episode, which was Amy going through the writer's guide. That was Galaxy Class episode 138. So, Kevin, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, well, someone named Ria? Papa Gorgo? Papa...
Gorgon.
Who is this person?
Gorgon? Is it like a mythological being?
Like a mythological
one of the Gorgons, being? Yeah. I think so.
Anyway, this person said, the Klingons are Spartans. All caps. See? Greek flag emoji, muscular arm emoji.
That's a flex emoji, I think. Do you call that flex? The Klingons are Spartans.
Yeah, because in the writer's guide, they were saying what they're familiar,
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just playing with it. We miss Ria and we were hoping she'd be here today, but... Yeah. So no, the Klingon. I can see the Klingons as Spartans. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It can't be that difficult to fly a plane and come on a podcast simultaneously.
Exactly.
It's 2023.
They have those, you just put the phone like on your car and then, she could be here.
Or press the autopilot button and the big inflatable guy comes up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like an airplane. Reevaluate your life choices.
Well, we also have Jim Stoffel who says, I loved this. Thank you, Jim. It's so difficult doing a solo show, so I appreciate the feedback.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
So today, listeners, we are going to be bringing back our kind of travel agency company that I think Kevin started a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do a little tour of the Federation. And we're going to go to the Betazed system. And we're visiting that famous planet called Betazed, home of the Betazoids. Which,
by the way, is my license plate. It reads Betazed. And I wonder why.
American license plates are just insane because that would cost like thousands and thousands and thousands over here.
Really?
We used to be able to get license plates in Ontario with the Starfleet logo on them.
Whoa.
Yeah, they discontinued them after the Berman Trek went off the air in the early 2000s. But it used to be. I used to see them around every now and then. License plates with a Delta on them.
With Betazed, like I know what it says, and other Star Trekkies would know what it says, but the non-Trekkies,
Do they
they
think it's a
always
math
read
term?
it as be tased.
Be
And I'm like,
tased.
That is. I'm going to say that from now on. Be tased. They think you're a cop.
exactly. They're like, do you like being tased? I'm like, no, it's Betazed.
Weird fetishist, Amy.
Yeah.
Can I bring up the first thing about Betazed?
Yes.
Sure.
I really would like to know what the Betazoids call it and what they call themselves. Because I don't reckon they call themselves Betazed. So two things about this.
Betazoids is what they call
Betazoids.
themselves.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. I think that's what we call them. Yeah. So the Beta Zeta system and Beta Z, the planet, was discovered by a human who named it. Also, Beta, or if Rhea was here, she would correct her pronunciation of the second letter of the Greek alphabet, which has a kind of hard V sound. So it's Veta, like with a V. So it should be Veta Z. But Z's a bit weird because Z is the way we say the last letter of the English alphabet. And you guys say Z. Kevin, you also say Z.
We say Z, yep.
Yes, and we say Z, and Amy, you say Z. So it should be the Veta Z system, maybe. I don't know. But I would imagine, my point is that Betazoids have their own indigenous languages. So they would have their own name for themselves, as opposed to something that a human gave them.
It feels to me like most planets in the Federation we use their English names. So let's just assume that the translators, and translators translate these planet names into what we know, because I don't think Vulcan is a Vulcan word either. Like that's an Earth word that we gave.
Yes, it's like from volcano, isn't it? It's like Latin or Greek, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, when we hear Councillor Troy say Beta Z, she could be saying something like
or it could just be a mental image.
Oh yeah, because they don't have words.
Right.
They don't have to speak.
Yeah, that's interesting. But they did develop vocal cords and facial orify, if that's even a term for your mouth.
Oh.
Who knows? Amy, anyway, sorry for digressing there. Listeners, if you have an answer to my question, please reach out. Amy, I think you're such a fan of that fifth planet in the Beta Zeta system that you're going to lead our conversation here, because you might have a favourite character that is from here.
Right. Maybe just a favorite character. That would be Deanna Troi and Lwaxana. We're raised there. Daughter of the fifth house, holder of the sacred chalice of Rix, heir to the holy rings of Betazed. And I'm really glad that we are talking about Betazed because the official government name is Fifth House of Betazed, which is in that little saying. And the capital city is Rix, so now it's like, because I've always had a hard time, remembering that whole saying that Lwaxana says, daughter of the fifth house. And so that's because it's the fifth planet in the system, holder of the sacred chalice of Rix, that's the capital city, heir to the holy rings of Betazed, the name of the planet. So that really does help me to remember that a little bit better. And it was admitted into the Federation at 2273, and at the census of 2270, there was a population of 1.3 billion Betazoids on the planet. Now, this Betazed was shown on star charts in quite a few series. Strange New Worlds, it's shown on Children of the Comet and Spock Amok. It is shown on the star charts, of course, in Generations. In Picard, Maps and Legends and the Next Generation and Disengage, it is on those star charts. And it even shows up in the star charts in Discovery in the episode Scavengers.
Which is in the 31st century, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's still there. So the Betazed is near Kalon 2 system, which we learn in Half a Life, but is very far from Deep Space Nine, and we learn that in the Muse.
But there are some regular transports
Yes,
that go
there
from
are.
Betazed to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
it's interesting to me that Strange New Worlds has established that they knew about Betazed during the time of the original series. So Betazed is a planet that's been around in the Federation for quite a while. I think that's interesting, but I also find it interesting that like the population you said is 1.3 billion. That seems quite low to me.
Mm-hmm.
Considering there's 9 billion people on this planet right now.
Right.
I don't think it's low. I think it's good.
Do you think it's good?
Yeah. Yes. 8 billion people consuming everything there is in sight is not good for Earth. So,
Yeah.
not that I'm suggesting we wipe out half the population, but we have to kind of control it in some way or live more ecologically friendly lives.
Yeah, and I think like from what I've read a couple of books, like Betazed is very eco-friendly, so this would make sense.
True.
I think if you are a Federation member world, means that you're warp capable. And if you're warp capable, then you've got the kind of the energy sustainability to have sorted all your problems with fossil fuels and climate change,
Right.
everything bad that we have on Earth that's causing all the damage. You'll have rectified all those, so your planet will be a lush Eden. Perhaps.
Right, which is sort of where we hope Earth will go, that once we do get out there and, see that there's life forms outside of Earth, that we will get our act together, clean up the planet, and join the Federation.
You know we won't, though. Because, look at the asteroid belt in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. There's some giant asteroids, some dwarf planets. The mineral wealth of them is absolutely staggering. So some of the asteroids have minerals that are worth in excess of trillions of dollars. So big business, big corporations, mining companies will be set up just to go and mine.
Yeah.
Exploit the universe for our purposes.
It was interesting talking about sort of that, mining and going for profit. Like in the Discovery Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad, Mudd went to Betazed and robbed a bank there. And that's how he was able to fund getting his ship and stuff. So we know that there's definitely a money system there. Which again got me thinking about Federation. How is the Federation not having money? But I guess with our dealings, when we have to deal with the Ferengi, then we will obtain Latinum. Or if we need to have dealings with Betazed, then we will gather their money to make a deal or something. That's how I'm retconning it in my head.
I think if you have a replicator, if every house has a replicator, you don't need money. You just replicate what you need, don't you? And then if you go to a bar, if somebody has a passion for being a barman, they're just going to do it for the hell of it, because they also don't need the money.
Right.
They don't have bills to pay
I know, but there is money in a bank.
Or is it money, or is it precious jewels?
Well, and that could be because in the book Battle of Betazed, which is an amazing book, each house in Betazed, they have their precious, like the chalice of Rix was stolen by the Ferengi. So that could be that, though, that's where they keep their historical and cultural important things. That could be
artifacts.
Yeah, artifacts.
So I want to talk about the government of Betazed for a minute. In the episode Angel 1, Deanna mentions that the government set up on that planet is quite similar to that of Betazed. So do you think that means that Betazed is ruled by a matriarchy?
Well, I think if you look at Lwaxana and her status, it definitely could be. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that, but what I did think about the fifth house before I discovered that the fifth house was the name of the government on Betazed. I was thinking, is fifth, like, what is there a ranking thing? Is it the first house, the best, at the top, and then the fifth house is at somewhere further down? But it's not, it's reverse. So you imagine the first house at the bottom, the fifth house is the best. And then I was thinking about the Fifth Element. Not the movie, the concept of now you've got your four elements: earth, wind, earth, fire, air, water. And the fifth element is that kind of element that's doesn't exist, it's unattainable. It's up there at the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So the fifth house, fifth element, maybe. I don't know if that was inspiration.
Yeah, and I was thinking sort of that it was maybe similar to the Klingons, like their High Council, because they have the houses, right, represented of the council. So maybe there's, Lwaxana, her house, and then there's the other houses that make up the ruling government. I was also thinking that.
I'm thinking Star Wars, I'm thinking Dune, where there's a galactic senate, and Dune has the Landsraad, and they have, like, powerful houses that maybe families that control a lot of planets, so they're the most powerful. And then you've got families that maybe just control one planet, so they're less powerful, so they get less votes in their version of the Senate.
So there are two facts here that seem contradictory to me. So one is that the government is called the fifth house of Betazed, but Lwaxana is the daughter of the fifth house of a daughter of the fifth house of Betazed. So that almost seems to me like it means like there are ruling families on the planet. It's almost more like a monarchy system than some kind of...
Well, but if you look at like the Klingons, they have the 24, is what we learned in Discovery now, that there's 24 ruling houses that have that status. So it could be similar, like, yeah, she is the lineage of, the fifth house. And sort of what Joe was saying, like, that's the number one spot.
Daughter might mean something different. And I'm thinking UK politics. There's a father and mother of the House of Commons in the UK government, and the father and mother are just the longest serving MPs that have been sitting in the House. So it could be like that. She's been on the government for such a long time that she's got this title, daughter of the fifth house.
That makes sense. I like that thought.
Yeah. So some little bit of history tidbits. The 2250s, they became warp capable, and they, again, have always been a blue planet represented as a member of the Federation on all the star charts. So there doesn't really seem to be a time in our canon that they haven't been.
We've never seen the story of the Betazed joining.
Right.
Of Betazed joining the Federation.
Yeah. Lwaxana was the ambassador. And every year they host the Pacifica Conference to discuss trade agreements. And we learned that in Manhunt and Menage a Troy. And then we have the Dominion War, where Betazed was invaded by the Dominion. And that happens in Deep Space Nine in the Pale Moonlight. And then eventually freed at 2375 in What You Leave Behind. So they went through an invasion and what's that called? Where they're, like Bajoran.
In the Dominion War.
Oh, they were, they were occupied.
Occupied, yeah.
Which is interesting considering how far away we've established Betazed is from Deep Space Nine. If the Dominion ships were coming through the wormhole, they went a long way.
Oh, I didn't even think about
to the heart of the Federation. Like,
yes.
that's quite the.
That's significant. Yeah.
Are we definitely sure? I've not seen this anywhere. You guys can keep me right. That Betazoid is in the Alpha Quadrant.
It is in the Alpha Quadrant. It is in the star charts and the cartography and everything.
Okay, that's fine.
For sure. 100% Alpha Quadrant.
What really bugs me is, like in Deep Space Nine, when they're in the battle of their lives fighting for the Alpha Quadrant, They're not. They're fighting for the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Because the quadrants are defined as if you draw a line from the centre of the Milky Way galaxy through the sun and extend it, and then draw another line at 90 degrees to that through the centre, you've got your alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Alpha, theta, V sound. Gamma, delta, hard TH sound on delta. You're welcome, Rhea. Yeah, so the Earth, I suppose, the solar system is half in between the alpha and theta quadrants. And that always bugs me, because we just assume that the Federation is in the alpha quadrant. And most of it, or a lot of it, isn't.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird also that they call the Pacifica Conference Pacifica.
I thought that was on Pacifica.
Well, they host it on Betazed.
Interesting. But if it's whether or not it's on Betazed or another planet, it's interesting that it's called Pacifica, which surely that means it's named after an Earth ocean.
Not necessarily, because Pacific means calm, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. So
Pacify.
to be pacified, it's Pacific. Yeah.
I just had my mind blown.
So maybe they have an ocean that's calmer than another ocean. So
I feel like a total dummy, which is the UK word for pacifier, that thing that you give babies to.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Pacific Ocean is terribly misnamed because it's not very Pacific. It's a pretty rough ocean. But yeah, so it could just mean the Calm Trade Conference.
Yes.
Interesting. I always wonder, that'd be interesting to kind of delve into how that negotiation for entry into the Federation went for the Betazoids. Because obviously you've got a delegation from the Federation, so made up of humans and Vulcans, Tellarites, Andorians potentially, and whoever else might be in the Federation at that time, with Betazoids that are telepathic. So that would be, in terms of negotiating a treaty between you, there are no secrets when you're dealing with telepaths, unless they're very open and honest about what they're doing.
Well, in the books, again, I'm pulling a lot from the books. Betazed is a very non-militaristic. They don't have a lot of defenses. They have a planetary defense, and that's all they have. And they don't like fighting and getting into conflict. So I could see them definitely wanting to join the Federation to sort of have that protection, because they aren't really wanting to fight and become this warrior race.
Yeah. I noticed that about their planetary defences. During the Dominion War, they fell within, 10 hours or something, because the defences were undermanned and not very well resourced or upkept. Yeah.
So, according to some of the book sources, Betazed was admitted into the Federation in 2246. It was the 81st member world of the Federation. That's from the book Federation, the First 150 Years.
Oh.
And according to the Discovery novel Drastic Measures, one of the first Betazoids in Starfleet was named Enamori Jen.
Like Anna Marie Presley.
She was one of the first Betazoids to join Starfleet. And what was her job? She was a lieutenant. And she assisted colonists on Tarsus 4 after the fungal infection and massacre of 4,000 colonists. And that's in the Discovery novel Drastic Measures. She was assigned to the USS Narbonne.
Where have I heard that before? Narbonne?
It was captained by Philippa Georgiou.
Maybe that's where I've heard it.
Yeah, did you read Drastic Measures?
She was the first officer. Sorry, she was the first officer.
Yeah, was that not the first?
Yeah, that was the first Discovery
novel. Yeah, I think I liked that one.
Yeah, I
can't
did
really
too.
remember it, to be honest. There was a second or third one, which, because it was the audiobook I was listening to, and I just couldn't get through it because the person reading it was a bit like me doing story time on Galaxy Class. Nobody wants to listen to that.
What?
And I had to stop halfway through because it wasn't keeping my attention.
Well, there are some places to visit on Betazed, and it is described as a lush, beautiful world with wide canyons, dense jungles, and lakes that dot all the continents. Sounds pretty nice. So there's Lake Kataria, which I hadn't heard of, but the Opal Sea was where Riker and Troy were going to honeymoon, and that was told to us in Nemesis.
You imagine the Opal Sea. I remember being, where were we? We were in Mexico, that Yucatan Peninsula, Cancun area. And we'd taken a wee boat ride out to wee islands, and there was mangrove forests. But we stopped at this little beach off an island, and the water was maybe 3 feet deep, and it was warm, and it was crystal clear and blue, and the sand was white, and it was
heaven.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
absolutely, yeah.
So, Lake Kataria was mentioned in the episode All Good Things. It was a place where Deanna proposed they use a holo program of Lake Kataria for her and Worf to go on a date together.
Oh, that's nice.
During that period of time, yes. And then according to some novels, it is also where Lwaxana reserved a park near the lake for the wedding of Deanna and Riker.
Oh, okay.
Also, in 2328, according to Memory Alpha, Lwaxana asked Ian Andrew Troy if he would go on holiday with her at this lake, and he declined because his Starfleet duties required him to live in a city.
Oh.
And she mentioned it in our journal during Dark Page.
Oh, well, there you go. Now we know Troy studied at University of Betazed, and I found in the Traveler's Guide that the classes are open to visitors. How cool is that? Joe,
Not for the teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's horrible.
But how cool is that? Like when we went to go visit University of Glasgow, if we went in and sat in on a class, that would be
yes, that would have been cool. What class would you take?
Ooh.
What would you go back? You wouldn't do maths because you've done that.
I think she would take a class in Bajoran ritual and ceremony because everybody would have to be naked.
Betazed? Not Bajoran.
Oh, I meant Betazed.
Yeah.
Did I say Bajoran? Not Bajoran. Betazed. Betazed culture and ritual.
I don't need anyone seeing me naked. That's not a pretty picture, but I don't know. It would be cool. I would do something like arts and humanity because then it would be about that planet, you know?
It would be betazoidity, not humanity.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like that. I think I might do music.
Mm-hmm.
Like composition, like work with the Betazoid orchestras. But I'm not. It's annoying me that there's a University of Betazed. That's like saying that you go to Earth to attend the University of Earth.
Right.
When we have like a bajillion universities.
Yeah. It should be University of Ricks.
Yes. The Ricks Institute of Technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
RIT.
Yes. Yeah. So the Janaran Falls and Sanctuary, guys, this is the place that I would go to because this is where Riker met Deanna in the book Imzadi, and they have their first date at the Janaran Falls, and this is where they fall in love. And it's in the Janaran jungle, and they have some steamy, hot time there together. Please go read Imzadi. It's the best part of the book. It really is. It's beautiful there. I would definitely go that. And I'm a big fan of hiking and going to see waterfalls. And so that would be the place that I would want to go.
So you want us to go and visit these waterfalls where people had sex in the waterfalls?
Isn't that at every waterfall that you visit, Joe?
Like every pool in Las Vegas, probably.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I still want to. I think I would prefer to go to the Opal Sea.
Mm.
I think that's really the idea. Like a waterfall is going to be in a jungle because Betazed's known for its jungles, and jungles are known for insects. and stingy things and creatures and
But we're in the 24th century. There's,
bugs flee.
repellents. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your
Phaser on
individual
wide
force
beam.
field.
Oh yes, like in their animated series.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm in.
Okay. So another pretty cool thing I saw is that they have these ornate mansions of the exalted houses. And that reminded me, I went on a tour of not all, but there's in Rhode Island, they have those mansions for like the Vanderbilts and that age of just ornate, huge mansions. And they have it in Rhode Island, and you can just go one right after another and go through these homes, these mansions. And I thought that's a pretty cool thing to see and get the culture and history.
A bit like, have you seen The Gilded Age?
No, I
It's
haven't.
The Gilded Age is made by the same guy that did Downton Abbey. Yeah, so it's about the wealthy families in Manhattan in the late 1800s. So it's like old money versus new money.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're making their like kind of Fifth Avenue, Manhattan, and they're all building their big giant mansions with their ballrooms so they can have people round for lunch, and it's the super rich and wealthy.
Yeah. That's what it is in Rhode Island. Yeah.
I wonder what makes them ornate.
Well, have you seen Loaxana? I would describe her as ornate.
Yes.
Yes. Ornate, like, do you think they're really, really old houses that were like hand carved out of the finest Betazoid analog of marble?
Yeah. I mean, there's ornates in every planet because you're going to have your basic four walls and a house. But then those who want to look at something different, then maybe they're going to put, I don't know, make the walls fancy, or the windows, have panes in them, or the stained glass window, or the door is sculpted,
Yes, like I'm going to use New York as an example. Look at new buildings in New York. They're all glass and steel kind of skyscrapers. Old buildings might have, like the Chrysler building. Now it's very Art Deco. You have buildings made out of stone that have gargoyles on it and
Oh,
kind of other
exactly.
features. Like, hand carved.
Yeah.
It took them decades to build because little artisans were up with their little hammers and chisels carving figurines and ornate Grecian panels into the stone.
Exactly.
I would go on a tour with you, Amy.
Okay, yeah, because I love old buildings. I love it. And they also recommend to try the Udaberry pudding at Apolloni's house, and the Oscoid has a great vegetarian menu, which I found interesting because, again, like vegetarian, they're not over sourcing or over farming. They're not having, they're eco-friendly, which vegetarians are. So,
I wonder if they've got anything for Christos to eat, though.
oh,
'Cause
I'm
he's like
sure.
proper vegan.
Yes.
vegan
Oh,
food,
yeah.
Do you think Betazoids may be vegetarian because of their telepathy? That they could, and their empathy?
Oh,
Dark,
yeah.
isn't it?
Because Troy says, or Picard's like, "Oh, I would have thought that you and horses would get along," and she's like, "No, they're way too emotional and can't handle that rawness."
I'm just seeing this the Betazoid Psychiatric Institute, and it's just full of the Betazoids that used to work in the abattoirs because they went insane because they were linked to all the animals they had to slaughter.
Mm.
And their brains are full of the screams of the animals. Don't kill me, don't kill me.
See? Oh my gosh, great, Kevin. Yes. I agree with that.
Can we talk about pudding for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Amy, what is pudding? As opposed to just generic dessert. How would you describe a pudding?
It's that gelatinous, creamy with milk. So it's like, yeah.
Like a
custard,
a flan.
but
Custard
runnier.
flan, like a creme caramel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so like a cooked, baked custard dessert. Okay, good.
No, it's not baked. Pudding is not baked.
There are many kinds of pudding.
Over here, what I know, it's not baked. So
Like a Jell-O instant pudding, is that what you're thinking of?
Yes.
It's almost like a
Okay.
mousse.
Yes.
A thick mousse.
Okay. Right, so I was thinking, because it's got berries in it, yeah, uta berries, imagine they're maybe like a soft summer berry, like a raspberry,
Yes.
or uta berry, maybe like a gooseberry.
Yeah.
It's quite sour. What colour is an uta berry? I'm thinking purple.
That's what I'm thinking.
A purple gooseberry, and I'm thinking pudding is like a bread pudding, like or a summer fruit pudding. So you get like stale bread and you line a pudding basin with your stale bread, and then you make a filling with your uta berries and sugar and stuff. And then I think there's maybe gelatin in it, and then you let it set.
Yeah, but not baked, right?
No, not baked. No.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the difference. So your kind of custard based pudding is different to the pudding that I'm thinking of.
But what
bread
you're
and butter.
describing is exactly what I would think of a uta berry pudding,
Like a trifle
no
or a
bake.
bread pudding.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But isn't bread pudding baked?
Steamed.
Okay.
Mm.
So cooked.
Then maybe you put it in a bain-marie, and you cook it, because
Yeah.
bread pudding has like a custard, a thin custard that soaks into it, and so you have to cook those raw eggs out of the custard.
Yeah.
So can we just agree on this uta berry pudding recipe?
Yes.
Yes.
The way
Listeners,
that you described it, I
yes.
can agree to that.
So you go out to the Betazed jungles, whichever
Yes.
one is nearest, because the planet's covered in them. Yeah, you pick the ripest of the purple uta berry fruits, and those are the ones that are highest up in the canopy. Yeah, because they've been ripened by the sunlight hitting the tree. Yeah, the ones lower down are going to be a bit bitter and tart, and you don't want them. So once you pick them, you take them back to your house, and they are larger than earth gooseberries, and they've got a relatively large stone in the middle. The stone is poisonous. They have like a betazoid analogue of cyanide in them, much like a lot of earth fruit. So you wash it, because sometimes like the birds like to eat them as well, and the bird saliva is toxic. So you want to make sure you wash them really well. And then you're getting some betazoid bread, like a brioche, something that's got some structural integrity about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to use your betazoid butter. A betazoid farmer has sought consent from the betazoid cows to get the milk to make the butter with. You've rubbed the pudding basin with the butter. You've lined it with your slices of your betazoid bread. And then in a pot, you've added some betazoid sugar, white sugar. So like, white sugar. Do we want like refined sugar, or do we want some raw sugar? I think raw.
We need refined for a dessert.
I think it could be Ora honey.
What about golden castor sugar? Let's go with some golden castor sugar, but also some Betazoid bee honey, which is notoriously hard to get. With the fruit and the sugar.
Yes.
And they want some uta berry liqueur in it.
Well, of
for
course.
A little kick. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And a little drizzle of the Betazoid bee honey.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. And then, we need some gelatin in it, some setting agent. And then we put it in the fridge. And then once it's set, hopefully we turn it out. In fact, I'm going to delete the butter from the recipe and line it with cling film or saran wrap, or whatever you guys call it.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy to turn out, and then we can just peel it off, and we've got a lovely purple dessert.
Oh,
very
my gosh,
fresh,
it
very
sounds like
vibrant.
heaven.
Yeah, quite boozy.
Yes.
So we're okay with that.
Oh, we are okay with that.
I hope they steal my recipe for the next issue of the cookbook.
Yeah.
Cookbook, yeah.
All right. Well, some cultural things that happen on Betazed. There's a common phrase that they say. Like we know in Klingon, they say kapla. So the phrase here is, may good fortune attend you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And
And
may good fortune always be beside you and go with you through life.
And of course, we know that the traditional wedding ceremony is performed naked. as Picard says, which we will all be attending, and you can find me in the gym.
Do you think that's partly because, Betazoids have, again, I think it goes back to their telepathy, and people don't really have secrets,
Yeah.
so there's no shame in Betazoid culture?
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful symbolic notion, And they have, again, from reading books, like they have not strict, but social norms where it's like you don't go in and read someone's thoughts without their permission. So there is that social norm there.
I'm thinking of the Babylon 5, the Minbari in Babylon 5, how when you meet them, they kind of, or in their spaceships, they approach with their gun ports open. So, like, they activate all the weapons, which is, it's a bit like us not folding our arms. We go with arms outstretched in a sign
Arms
of welcoming.
wide open.
Yes. The Minbari want to show you that they're not hiding any weapons. These are all their weapons on display. It's kind of a gesture of friendship, but humanity would take this as a sign of aggression. So it's maybe something like that.
Yes.
Where they'll be, I've got nothing to hide.
I think it's beautiful that you're being, and without clothing or armor, like you are vulnerable. And as you should be when you get married to the love of your life, like you are vulnerable together.
And plus there's no, like, the man dressed as a penguin and the woman kind of dressed like a prize chicken. Like in this kind of big white gown.
Like a white swan.
Yeah, like as I've looked at this that I'm purchasing. Do you know what I mean? That the man is owning a bride. There's something a bit archaic about the idea that the woman wears a big giant white dress.
Right. And without the clothing, they both are equal. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, final thoughts on Betazed.
I think Betazed sounds like a beautiful planet. From what we've been told, there are no Arctic or freezing cold locations or deserts. I mean, I hope that that's not the case, because I think a planet needs all those things to have a sustainable ecosystem. But the parts of Betazed that have been described as sound lovely and like a beautiful, relaxing place to take a vacation. I think a camping trip on Betazed would be a fun activity.
Yeah, I also agree with you and feel that it would be a great vacation spot. Like I said, I love to see historic buildings and go to the university and check out the jungles and the waterfalls and the hiking. Like, it sounds like a great planet to go to. And there is also some business that if the Federation needs to do, that there's, a good economy there, obviously banks with money and artifacts. And so you could, perform any of that business that you need to as well. So I think it's a very well-rounded planet.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely go, because it's going to be so easy to get around. You just transport yourself wherever you want to be. I would do all the places. But I do kind of hope that, like Kevin said, that they have kind of variety. It's not just jungles and lakes and waterfalls, because that would get a bit tiresome. I want, like, the highest peaks and deserts and Arctic tundra and great oceans. Not that I'm a huge fan of any of those places, because they kind of terrify me, but I would definitely visit all the cultural sites and learn as much as I could about the people and their history.
Incoming transmission.
We would love to hear what you thought of today's episode, and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also tweet your thoughts at Galaxy Class Pod, or you can follow the network on Twitter and Instagram at BQN Podcasts. So Amy, where can people find you when you're not gatecrashing a naked wedding?
Well, when I'm not doing that, you can find me here in the network where I'm co-hosting All Good Things and Union Federation. I am on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, but my favorite place right there in the Facebook group, BQN Collective. And Kevin, where can people find you when you're out picking utaberries?
Oh, I think Udaberries are in season right about now, so you may find me out in the field picking those. But if not, you can find me on Facebook in the Collective. You can find me on my other podcast that I do with my local friends, True North Nerds, and you can find me in Las Vegas at the big convention coming up in August. You will see me there. And Joe, where can people find you when you're not frolicking in Janarin Falls?
I don't know what frolicking means, but it sounds a bit rude. When I'm not doing that, you can find me on the BQN Collective on Facebook. You can get me on Twitter or Instagram at JoeyJoe77UK, or you can email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com.
What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Mark, Christos, and Kelvin. Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey, a self-proclaimed gamer who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. If you're lost in the Delta Quadrant, check out The Captain's Couch, a Star Trek Voyager podcast hosted by Jeremiah sitting on Janeway's Ready Room couch. Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed but should definitely check out, hosted by Mark, Matt, and Laz. Beam Aboard the Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Amy, Joe, Rhea, and Kevin. History with the Szilagys, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissie and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissie and Thad. Test your Trek knowledge with Trexperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey. Union Federation, covering all things Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Star Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Spill the Tea with What's the Tea, Bev? A Trek current events and fan interview show hosted by Christos. And for our Patreon members, we have The Hive Mind, BQN's monthly roundtable discussion with hosts and listeners. It's Green, a cornucopia of topics hosted by Mark. And Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek, hosted by Amy. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
So if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. With a monthly Patreon subscription of $5 or more, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. For more details, go to patreon.com/BQN. A huge shout out to our very own associate producers, Jim McMahon and Davey Willett. We are very grateful for your support.
At this time, we would like to thank our executive producers who make this all possible, and a special thanks to Mark White for our artwork and Joe Keegan for our show music.
Thank you for beaming aboard the Galaxy Class, and until next time,
Great joy and gratitude.
Let's all go audit a class at the University of Betazed.
while eating, Betazoids express thanks for their food by ringing a chime at intervals.